What's up, guys? Welcome. Wait out a little bit while we wait for people to get in. All right, so today in this video, we're just gonna go over how to use TRND, what TRND offers, and just go over some tickers you guys might be interested in, and answer any questions you may have. So, what's up, Robert? Welcome. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Let me know if you have any questions as we're doing this. But yeah, let's just get into it. So first, let's talk about what we offer as a product. We have our website. So this is our website, trndpro.com. When you go here, you can sign out and click checkout. We have our guide. So this will take you to our FAQ, which we talk about basics of trading, everything about our indicator. So how to use the indicator, what each indicator does. That's all in there as well. How to get access, how to manage stuff, how to manage your subscription. That's all in there. We then have our Podia. So Podia is our masterclass. This is going to have all of our education series for you, and as well as our strategies that you will be able to get. So our 5 out of 5 wave, ABC, and channel strategy, as well as other things to help you learn about the market and just trading in general. So with that, let's just get right on into it and start talking about TRND and how it works. So this is TRND Pro and TRND Panel. Unfortunately, today the market has just been sideways. Looking at US 30, we can pop SPY up real quick as well, because SPY is a big market mover. And we can see we've just been sideways. We can bring it down to the 15-minute time frame, and we opened up at 8:30. And yeah, we've just been sideways, slowly going back up this afternoon, but not a lot of momentum, not a lot of volatility this morning and this trading day going into the holidays. So we have TB Pro and TO Panel. Both of these you'll be able to get with your subscription. So yeah, let's just talk about TB Pro and TO Panel. It does work on any time frame, any market type. And yeah, so after we're done with this, we can talk about what tickers you guys want to see and what time frames, and then do any analysis you may have. So we have first our sensitivity and our buy and sell signals. So our sensitivity is going to allow you to adjust how many buy and sell signals you see on your chart at a given time. It's going to help you have as many buy and sell signals as you want, or help you reduce the noise and get stronger buy and sell signals, but you'll have less, but you'll have stronger signals. So a higher sensitivity is going to give you stronger signals, while a lower sensitivity is going to give you a lot more signals, but they may be weaker. In that we have AI mode. So AI mode is going to automatically adjust the sensitivity for you. So if I bring this down to 0.5, there we go. If I bring it down to 0.5, we can see we have tons of buy and sell signals on the chart. Once I enable AI mode is going to take over, and it's going to dynamically change the settings and sensitivity for me. So I no longer have to worry about identifying what sensitivity I want to use. I can now move between time frames without having to use sensitivity on a time frame and changing the sensitivity on the time frame. It's all automatically adjusted for me. I also get take profit signals. These blue lines also represent take profit. So we'll talk about what some of these lines mean in a second here. But let's knock it back down to the 15-minute time frame. So as we see here, we have a blue line. So that represents take profit. We also have some gray dots. This represents where the buy signal closed or the sell signal closed. So what I mean by that is the buy and sell signals aren't confirmed until the candle closes. So about 15 minutes ago on SPY, the buy signal was forming. And now that the candle closed and we moved on to the next candle, this signal is here to stay. But as this candle is forming, the signal isn't confirmed until the candle fully closes. Once the candle closes and we move on to the next candle and the signal is there, that signal is there forever. So just be aware of that. AI mode does work on regular and Henneken candles. So we'll pull that up real quick. So if you like to use Henneken, it does work on that as well. For this demonstration, we will use regular candles. And here we are. Next, we have our re-entry signals. So re-entry is just going to give you a potential buy re-entry or sell re-entry based upon the direction you are. We do have directions. We have buy direction or sell direction. We do believe in the trend and trading in the trend and not trading against the trend. So we have direction indicator. We do have an indicator that's going to help you identify the overall trend on your current time frame, and that is our volatility support and resistance indicator. This has three functions. The green, there's a green line and a red line, and there's only one at a time. So right now we're currently red, but we were overall bullish. So red signifies overall bearish direction, where green signifies overall bullish trend. So overall bearish trend or overall bullish trend. The second thing it does is it shows you the overall volatility. So when the line is nice and jagged, that means volatility is very high. When the line is flattened out, that means bullish volatility is dead, or it could mean bearish volatility is dead, depending on the direction you're looking at. And then the third function this offers is it acts like a support or a resistance, depending on the direction. Or depending on the line. So red is resistance and your green is your support line. Next, we have our EQ cloud. So the EQ cloud is going to help you identify the overall momentum of the current trade or the current ticker. So here we can see for SPY, we are currently very low momentum, weak momentum. And we can see that identified by the candlesticks are in between the cloud. The cloud is sideways. So if the cloud is sideways, that shows sideways consolidation ranging movement or a sideways market, choppy market, however you want to view it as. When the cloud is nice and wide and the candlesticks are above the cloud, that's overall bullish trend. When the candlesticks are when the candlesticks are below the cloud and the candlesticks wide, that's overall bearish trend. So candlesticks above the cloud is overall bullish. Candlesticks below the cloud is overall bearish. It does act like a minor support or resistance depending on the direction you look at. So that can help you identify pullbacks or help you identify pullbacks that or identify reversals. So as we can see here, we had our bullish trend. EQ cloud was nice and wide. Came down, tested the EQ cloud. That was just a pullback, and it moved on until it went all the way up. We see a breakthrough here, continued onwards, but the momentum was weakening. We could see that reflected by volatility, and then it went sideways here, went below the EQ cloud, and then we had that major pullback here, but tested support. So right now with SPY, we can see that we have our current direction is buy, but the overall trend is bearish. So right now we're just waiting to see what will happen. As the overall trend is bearish, as we broke support, we do have a pullback happening right now after this nice little sell-off we had yesterday. So we'll continue to see what happens in this video, but right now, very low momentum, very low volatility. We do have a volatility or a resistance to test up here later as well if we do get that high. We do have our reversal cloud. So the reversal cloud is going to help you identify pullbacks, or sorry, it's going to help you identify pullbacks, but the main point of this cloud is overbought and oversold. So the top part of this cloud is overbought and the bottom part of this cloud is oversold. Simply stating, overbought just means the bulls or the buyers have exhausted themselves, or oversold simply means the sellers have exhausted themselves. That's all that means. It doesn't mean if we're overbought that we're going to see a bearish reversal, or if we're oversold, we're going to see a bullish reversal. It does not mean that. We could see a pullback. It just simply means the bulls have exhausted or the bears have exhausted themselves. They need to take a break before they carry on. And we can see that reflected in here as well, recently and historically. Historically, we had our bullish momentum happen on Thursday, November 10th. Took off, we got above the cloud, it came back down, tested support. Bulls had to take a break, and it continued onwards, got back into the cloud, came back down into the cloud, and then the cloud started forming sideways. So that can help you identify sideways movement as well. When the cloud is up and pointed upwards, that is overall bullish. Again, bullish momentum, bullish trend. When the cloud starts to go sideways, that means we're seeing ranging sideways consolidation as well. And now we can see the cloud is starting to point downwards. We did have some oversold happen here after we broke that support. So we'll see what continues to happen here. We do have that bullish signal happening, but again, our overall trend is bearish. The overall on the momentum indicator, which we'll talk about later, is still bearish. Momentum is dying, but it is still bearish. So we'll see what happens. But overall, this could just be a pullback, or we could see bulls start to take off here in a few moments. We have our dynamic support and resistance. So this is going to give you historically based support and resistance. So as we can see here, we have a support line at 389, 378, and 373. We have a resistance at 396 and 400. This is based off the 15-minute historic resistance and support. So if we were to go to, say, the 5-minute, you can see we have a nice bullish trend happening, but we do have a resistance volatility line here and resistance here at 395 and a support here at 390. And then we could take this to the daily. We have a resistance on the daily That volatility line, we actually rejected. They try to break through that volatility line, which acts like a resistance, and we're coming down right now on this current daily. So we did reject resistance on the daily, but we do have our other daily resistances at 409, 431. But again, this just works on multiple time frames as you're going through. So if you're doing multi-time frame analysis, which simply means you use multiple time frames to do analysis to find the best trade setups, you can use this tool to help you find all the supports and resistances you need to find the major and the minors to help you find a good trade setup. Harmonic zag. This is going to give you higher highs, higher lows, and lower highs. As we can see here, we have our lower lows and lower highs. This typically represents a area that for SPY in this case, it got to a point, it formed a higher high. That usually represents a resistance, and a lower low represents a support. It can help you identify the overall trend line as well, or the trend channel. So if you look at a higher time frame, we can do it on lower time frames, but for now, we'll do it on a higher time frame. We can look at the 1 hour. We have a higher low here and a higher low here. We can take our trend line, brought to you by TradingView, connect these two, and now we have our support line for our overall trend. We can also identify that by and clean this up a little bit so I can see here. Our higher high here and our higher low and our lower high here. So actually that's not formed yet. It does take 2 touch points. I was just trying to see if we did have a channel yet. So for a trend line, I've talked about this in other videos, but we'll just say it here. It takes 2 touch points to form the trend line, 3 touch points to confirm it. Currently for the top of the trend, we only have 1 touch point for the upwards trend. So we do need a second touch point up here to help us identify if this is going to be currently a bullish trend. So we just need to wait for a new touch point. It could be here and it could form down like this, but we're just waiting for that second touch point to form. But this can help you identify those trend lines, help you identify those touch points as you're looking at potential support lines or resistance lines based upon the trend and parallel channels. Harmonic zag does work great with other indicators. So let's pair it with the reversal cloud, volatility support resistance, tunnel vision. So let's talk about tunnel vision first and then we'll pair it. So tunnel vision is going to help you identify a linear regressional setup. So this is going to give you also a channel setup. So as we can see here, we have our bottom channel and our top channel and our parallel line. Our top line is our overbought and our bottom line is oversold. So as we can see here, overbought and oversold. As with any channel, you're going to see a flow within between these 2 lines. So this is going to help you identify that channel as well. If we turn on harmonic zag, dynamic support and resistance, and the reversal cloud, just these 4 indicators paired together, it will help you identify when we get to the top of the cloud, if we're hitting a resistance, and then we're in the reversal cloud. That's 3 confluences there. They can help you identify to either get out or not to take this trade or to enter a sell because we're rejecting resistance. We hit the top of the channel, formed a higher high, and we're going to probably come on downwards. So this can help you identify as a strategy and pairing these 4 indicators together to find a strategy to help you find good trade setups. As we can see here, had our lower low form, we hit our 389 support. We're at the bottom of the trade or the linear regressional line, and we formed our lower low, and now we're going upwards. Currently forming a lower high. So we'll see what happens here as it continues to move upwards. As we have a lower high here, if we'll reflect that on the 15-minute or respect that on the 15-minute. Talked about volatility support and resistance. So volatility support and resistance paired with safety mode and buy and sell signals is going to give you a confluence strategy. So with safety mode, what that's going to do is you need volatility support and resistance on to identify what's actually happening. But for in this case, when we have direction as buy, we're only going to get buy signals in the overall trend. So if the trend is bullish, we can see here the buy signal closed above the resistance line here. We're only going to get those buy signals. We're not going to get them in a downtrend. So as we can see here, we do have a buy signal, but it's not going to allow us to, it's not going to tell us to buy here because it's against the trend. So it's helping you not trade against the trend. If we turn sell signals on, it'll help us identify sell signals that are in the trend. So no sell signals here or here, but we did have one here that was in the trend. And then we have our trend dashboard. And the trend dashboard is going to show top right. You can't move it. This is where it stays. It's going to tell you the current signal, which is a buy signal, the overall trend, which is currently bullish, trend movement, average. It can be overbought or oversold. Trend volatility is currently 0%. We want to see at least 70% or higher for a good trade setup. At 0% volatility, that just means there's nothing happening in the market. So entering a trade right now would be foolish because there's nothing to move the trade in any given direction. Trend mood is normal. It can be optimistic or fearful. Short-term trend is down. That represents the 5-minute to 15-minute. Intermediate term is up. That represents 30-minute to 1 hour. And then long-term is down, and that represents 2 hour to a daily. And then we have our adaptive take profit. And this reflects based off the direction you currently have for take profit or for your direction. So it's going to give you, in this case, we have our sell direction currently selected. So it's going to give us sell adaptive take profit lines. If we were to swap that to a buy, it's going to give us this buy one. As you can see here, it changes based upon the overall trend. So in this trend, we're currently bearish. We're against the trend. So if you're trying to scalp, it's going to give you that ability to scalp. As we can see here, we turn back to sell because the overall trend is bearish. It's going to give you a little bit wider movement there because the overall trend is now bearish. And we can see here we hit take profit 1 and almost hit take profit 2 on that support. TO panel. So this is going to give you a few indicators, and it's going to give you the momentum indicators, just like the EQ cloud, similar to it, except that it's candlesticks. Dark green represents overall bullish momentum is strong. Light green means the bullish momentum is dying. Usually within the light areas, that means we're either seeing a pullback or we could see a reversal. Dark red just means bearish momentum is increasing. Light red, same thing. Bearish momentum is dying, so we can typically see pullbacks in this time. When the candlesticks are nice and wide, just like the EQ cloud, when this is nice and wide, that means momentum is strong. When the candlesticks are nice and small, that means momentum is weak. We have divergences. This is going to help you identify potential movements based upon divergences. Like we have our R here. This just means regular momentum was detected, and we had our pullback happen, and then we continued onwards. We have an H here. That means hidden momentum's detected. And as we can see here, we just dropped like a tank with the bearish right side. So a red R or a red H means bearish momentum, and a green R and green H means bullish momentum. We next have our pressure lines. So pressure lines are going to help us identify the overall buying and selling pressure. A white line is bullish. A white line is bullish pressure. A blue line is bearish pressure. When white is above blue, that means it's overall bullish pressure. When blue is above white, that's overall bearish pressure. We do talk about it in our videos and our FAQ. If it's above the 0-0 line on this axis, that means it's overall bullish. If it's below it, it's overall bearish. We do have crossovers that happen. Is one of our strategies that we talk about regularly with our members. When a crossover simply happens, that means it's typically a good area to enter for a scalp or a trade just in general. Also, just make sure you're trading with the trend, if depending on your trading strategy. So if you're a day trader, you want to enter this on a bullish play, you would enter this on a scalp, stay in for like 2 minutes, get out. And it does work for either direction. So as we can see here, we had our bearish crossover happen here. That vertical line, boom. Trying to adapt to take profit off, clean this up a little bit. So we had our bearish line happen here. Good entry point, came on down, got into that oversold area, and then we saw it bounce back up, also hit support, and we also had our take profit. So again, good scalp, even though we're trading in between a range of 400 and 396. It's a simple strategy a lot of our traders use. It's the crossovers, pairing it with support and resistance to help you identify those strong trade setups. We next have the squeeze indicator. The squeeze indicator is going to help you identify if you're in a squeeze or not in a squeeze. Squeeze simply means that buying and selling pressure is at an equal, and that we need to wait potentially for a buying or selling pressure to win. So at the moment, we can see here when we're in the middle of a squeeze, we're going to see a lot more sideways choppy movement. As soon as we pop out of that squeeze, we're going to see a big momentum push. A great strategy paired with this is you pair it with the pressure lines. Wherever the direction of the pressure lines are going, even though we're in the middle of a squeeze, that can help you identify the overall pressure and the overall momentum that's going to pop off. And as we can see here, pressure lines were below, we popped off, broke support, and went on downwards. And finally, on the TO panel, we have our own little dashboard. Just like this dashboard, it's going to pop up over here, and it's going to give you information represented here. Anybody have any questions? Anything I can answer, any tickers you might want to look up? I'm just looking at the chat now. Good morning at T0. Good morning at Angel. Welcome. Welcome. Superborn, welcome. Does anybody have any tickers, any questions about TB Pro? Anything I can answer for you? If not, we can scan the market a little bit and look around and see what's happening. All right, doesn't look like any questions are popping in. It's all good. Let's just take a look at the market. Let's take a look at currently a crypto industry that's having some issues with some FTX issues and crypto issues or broker issues. So Bitcoin's been ranging. We had a little bit of a drop off on Sunday for obvious reasons, but that's all reflected on the 15-minute. We can take this to the 4-hour. We can see the overall trend is bearish. Hitting that support at 15,708. Hit that support, came back up. Hit that resistance, so we just had a pullback, came back down, and currently we're now in the middle of a squeeze. Looking at indexes, NASDAQ will start here. We'll bring this on down to the 1-hour. Again, just a choppy day in the market, so not much we can do there. We do help users identify weak signals. So with a weak signal, what we suggest is avoiding ranging consolidation. When the EQ cloud is nice and thin and sideways, avoid trading in those. Even though you might have a buy or sell signal, avoid trading in those. Avoid trading in ranges. So if we're in between a support and resistance and it's just choppy up and down, and you're not a scalp trader, you should just avoid trading until we get a breakout or a breakdown. That's just one of our few recommendations when it comes to weak signals. And then strong signals we help identify as well with our 4 strategies we have in our masterclass. We'll go back and take a look, see if we have any questions. Works great on all time frames. What do you want to see on a lower time frame? Like what ticker? At T0. This is Carnival. We got that nice little sell signal, dropped it on down. Somebody asked for this. Have a nice gap. So, not sure what happened here, but nice drop off. Just big gap right there. So now we're trading in between 2 areas. But yeah, it does work on all time frames. That's what we talk about, multi-time frame analysis. We have tons of traders who trade it on the 5-minute, 1-minute, 15-minute. We never suggest, even in just trading in general without an indicator, you should never just use one time frame. You should use multiple time frames. So 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, or if you're a day trader, maybe 15-minute, 1 hour, and 2 hour, depending on what you're doing. But it just helps you identify the overall trend on other time frames, so you're not getting frustrated on lower time frames when the bigger picture is showing you what's happening. My question is the confluence. How many do we really want to confirm before we make the trade? I'm looking at 3 to 5 things before I make a trade. YMZ 2022. So the confluence, it's up to you. That's 100% up to you on the confluence part. We suggest at least 5, but it's all based upon your strategy. I would say the higher the amount of, the more indicators that say, hey, this is the direction, or hey, this isn't the direction, or we're seeing a pullback, or we're consolidating, the more things you can identify based upon support, resistance, volatility line, whatever that may be, that's going to be your bread and butter. You should never just use the buy and sell signals alone, right? Those are just confirmation signals. You should be using the other indicators like the volatility line to help you identify the overall direction, the overall volatility. We have our support to help you identify potential support line, or not potential, to help you identify those support lines and those resistance lines. And that's just going to help you have a better trade setup to make more money, right? I would never say have less than 3, because that's going to, if you're using trend, there's 10 plus indicators. I don't know if you are or not using trend. But if you're using trend, there's 10 plus indicators. Use at least 3 to 5 of them to help you identify. And the more you learn how trend works, it's easier to identify things a lot quicker and a lot more fluent. So this is the E-mini Dow on the 5-minute time frame. As you can see here, we have our buy signal, had to take profit, but we were against the trend, right? So the overall trend was bearish. As you can see with the red line, the overall trend was bearish. You can see that represented with the downtrend. We hit that resistance, but as soon as we broke through that resistance, we've taken off, and now we've broken through and have a new overall trend on the 5-minute that's bullish. Love it, Julio. I use the support resistance, MO crossover, volatility, momentum, and the cloud. I think those are all great. I would definitely suggest at least potentially using the pressure lines and the squeeze indicator. If you just even have it look like this, there's a strategy video. I don't think it's been built yet. Maybe I'll build it out. But even it just looks like this, that's going to help you identify those potential crossovers, right? So as we talked about in other videos, Julio, is those crossovers are a key area to help you identify potential movements, even though an E-mini Dow on YMZ, right? We're touching resistance. This is helping you identify that, hey, pressure is building up. We could break this resistance. As soon as we start to see it build momentum, we're still in that middle of that squeeze. That squeeze popped off, as we can see here. Boom, took away. So we've talked about that before. We're in the squeeze indicator. If we're in the middle of the squeeze, pressure lines are pointing in one direction. In this case, bullish direction. And the squeeze pops off, those pressure lines should reflect the direction it's going to go in with that squeeze popping off, and then boom, perfect trade setup. So in this scenario, if you wanted to enter right before the pop off because you're like, I don't want to miss this giant candle, you would probably enter when it's testing the resistance right here. And then my stop loss would probably be tight in this area, just because if it does bounce here, it's just going to range consolidate. It might even be tighter. But if you're going to try to enter that trade, and you have the pressure lines and you have all those confluences, but the only confluence not lining up is it hasn't broke resistance, but everything else looks good. Just make sure you have a tight stop loss. Make sure that stop loss is actually in your broker, not a mental stop loss. We've talked about that before in other videos. We don't do mental stop losses. We make sure the stop loss is in the broker, because then you start to get emotional. You start to think the trade is going to go back the way you want it to, and then you lose more money than you should. And you could have just been stopped out. You could have been upset with yourself about the trade, but at least you only lost 3% compared to 20%, right? So correct. So the buy and sell signals complement everything you're doing. Hey, Angel, I'll get to you in a minute. The buy and sell signals complement everything you're doing, but they shouldn't be used alone. The buy and sell signals help you identify, if you're using trend correctly, potential new direction or potentially a pullback, right? So we've talked about the pullback. So if the overall trend is a sell signal, and let's just say for giggles, this was a buy signal, right? Well, you're not going to take that buy signal because the overall trend is bullish. We're bouncing off of support. Yeah, man, well, people do it. So it is a madman's dream though. I've done it. It's bad. Anyway. Overall volatility is bearish. So let's just say, hypothetically, there was a buy signal here. You're not going to take that buy and actually take a buy because the overall trend is still bearish. We just bounced off of support. We need to break above this EQ cloud because it's just going to be a pullback. So it does help you identify those pullbacks if we do have like a weak buy signal, or it helps you identify potential new movements. Typically, you're not going to get a buy or a sell signal until it crosses over. So when the EQ cloud crosses over, and the when the candlesticks cross over, that's when you're typically going to get a new buy or sell signal, because that typically means direction is changing. But then we need to identify, hey, what's the overall trend? Are we in the middle of a squeeze? Are we consolidating? Like, that's the other indicators, which you're using all the indicators you should be doing. I'm just talking to everybody else here. But that's why you just want to even take this buy, because now we have a resistance up here. Great scalp, but long term, not good until we get past here, right? So yeah, we all do it at the beginning. We learn real quick. Angel, if you just signed up, welcome. I should get an email. If I don't get an email, there's nothing you need to download. If you need help, open a ticket in our Discord. But if you inputted your trading view in Discord, when you checked out, it should have asked for your trading view in Discord. If you inputted that, you should already have access to everything. But there's nothing you need to download. It's just on TradingView. So I'll show you right here on TradingView. You would just go to indicators. You go to invite only scripts, and it's going to show up TBT, TB Pro, and TO panel. So once again, you're on TradingView on the TradingView account you gave us. You just go to indicators, invite only scripts, add TB Pro and TO panel, and boom, there it is. And then There's our onboarding course. So our onboarding course is on our YouTube channel. What you're watching our YouTube channel is our YouTube playlist. It's called onboarding. Just watch through that, and that's going to help you. There's a more extensive video of how to use TV Pro and TO panel, kind of like this, but more extensive, like pairing all the indicators together in that video is what I do. But there's a setup video, a chart appearance video, and some other things in there. So let's see. Any other questions? Did I miss anything? T.O., do you have any other questions? Did that help you? Robert, any other questions? Oh, what is my technique? Easy enough, Angel. Just open a ticket in our Discord under the support tab. And I can update that for you real quick. So it'll take me all of 30 seconds and then you'll get access. It's all based off automation. So we have an automatic scripting access system. So as long as we put the username in there, it should automatically give you the access. So, but just open up a ticket right after this stream. I will get right to you and I'll open that. I'll get that taken care of for you. Where was the question? What is your technique for entry and exit on the ES? We have tons of different techniques. I wouldn't say just the ES because trend isn't just a one ticker focus. We have tons of strategies. So we have at least 4 that are built out, but we also have tons of other strategies we just talk about that we haven't made videos yet for. But that's the biggest thing is it's not just a one focus. Yep. So trend has tons of different kind of indicators. We have our TV Pro and TO panel. But at Robert, I'll get back to you, Derek. Sorry. At Robert, it's not just a one focus ticker. It works on any ticker, any time frame. It all comes down based upon your trading plan, trade setup, and strategies, which we have all those built for you. We also offer, I didn't put it in this video, but it's in our Discord. We also offer one-on-one mentorship. So you can schedule a mentorship and you can schedule as many as you like. And we'll walk through either A, how to use trend, B, any other questions you may have. So like, hey, I'm failing at this with trading. And it might just be a generic trading question. Like, why am I like failing? Like, look at my P&L. We'll look at what you've taken for trades and we'll try to examine how to like make that like more like easier for you. Like I just did a one-on-one with somebody the other day. They had a 90% winning strategy, but the issue was they were over trading, and we helped identify that they were over trading. So just an emotional thing. So just walking through that, like, hey, take one trade and be done for the day. Like if you win 20%, be good with it. Don't try to over trade it. So we talk about that in our one-on-ones as well. So it's in the Discord, man. It's in that, it's under support and it's labeled one-on-one assistance. So you just click that calendar link. Oh, Robert. Yep. Oh, Robert. Yes. Now, sorry, I didn't recognize the last name. Yep. We have on the 26th, we're going to talk about your P&L. That's right. But that's what we're going to talk about, man. So how much for the indicator? So we have two. Whoa, what am I doing? Here we go. We have 2 subscriptions. We have Trend All Access and TrendBot Pro. So TrendBot Pro is just going to give you the indicator, right? It's not going to give you anything else. It's going to give you limited access to the Discord. So that will still give you access to one-on-ones and to our off-topic channel and to our trend alerts and trend news channel. But it's not going to give you access to the trading channels, to the masterclass, or to the trading professional calls. We have pro traders. We've vetted them. They're very good at what they do. They also help, but they also give pro callouts, pro watch list. And that's all involved in our $78 package. So the $78 package per month is going to be your package that gives you everything. We are also running and I'll put it in here, we'll start it now. Why not? We're running it on our TikTok. I'll run it here. I'll give you guys a Black Friday discount. So it's 50% off, $78 right now. If you're a new person, if you're a current subscriber, sorry. But for our new subscribers, it's 50% off. It's only for 1 month, so it goes 50% off, but then it will go back to $78 per month. So it's only for your first month, and then it goes back up. What do you mean, what is the best indicator for the option? Can you elaborate, Super? What do you mean? Thanks, Angel. I'll get that fixed right after this video. And then I'll respond in the ticket letting you know it's fixed. So. But at Derek, yeah, Trend has tons of different indicators. Talked about it in this video. I don't know if you're here for the entire thing. But we have all these indicators. So just a real quick recap, if you weren't here, re-entry signals, buy and sell signals. We have our EQ cloud, which is this line or this cloud right here. Our reversal cloud, which is this bottom and top cloud. So the EQ cloud is going to show you momentum. Reversal cloud is going to show you overbought, oversold. Harmonic zag is going to show you higher highs, higher lows. Tunnel vision is going to show you linear regression. Dynamic support and resistance is going to give you support and resistance lines. There's our tunnel vision. There's our higher highs and higher lows. We have a higher high that formed here. So just like that, mini Dow is now coming back down. We have safety mode, which will give you confluences based off the current trend. So it's not gonna let you trade against the trend. Trend dashboard is a little dashboard up here, and it's gonna give you all the information you're seeing here, but in a nice little dashboard. Adaptive take profit lines is gonna give you, based upon your current direction, adaptive take profit. So for buy, we're gonna get our entry right here, our take profit 1, our take profit 2, and our stop losses. And then we have our TO panel. So our TO panel is gonna give you five indicators. And that's going to be momentum, divergence, pressure, and squeeze. So momentum is just like the EQ cloud. It's going to show you the overall momentum. Divergences is going to help you identify potential pullbacks based upon divergences, which can be identified by a red R or a red H for bearish, or a green R or a green H for bullish. We have our pressure lines and our squeeze indicator. Pressure just shows you the overall buying and selling pressure in real time. And then we have our squeeze indicator that shows you real-time squeeze action. So if we're consolidating, ranging, and then we have our dashboard. So that's just a quick recap. This video will be up on our YouTube channel after this. So don't worry if you missed it. It will be still up. We also have a more in-depth version called How to Use TV Pro and TO Panel. It's about 45 minutes long, probably as long as this, but that's more in-depth. So for option trading from Trend, you still use, if you're using trend indicators, you should use, I would say, support, resistance, EQ cloud, reversal cloud, probably tunnel vision, harmonic zag, just to give some extra flavor in there. You don't always have to have them on. And then I would for sure say the squeeze indicator and the pressure lines. And those are just to help you identify confluences, because with option trading, depending on what kind of option trader you are, when I was option trading, I do Forex trading now. But in my years of option trading, you're looking for those momentum moments. So that's going to help you identify those momentum movements, because you don't want to get stuck in a sideways consolidation, because then the theta is going to kill you, right? So you'll get that time decay. You might even get that IV crush, and you don't want any of that. So that's a great question. I don't have the answer to that. That would be my marketing team. But if you subscribe at $78 per month, you keep that $78 per month. So it won't go back to whatever we make it. It will always be $78 for you if you subscribe for it at $78 a month. So let me get this discount code. Trying to remember what it is. Yep, so that's everything you're seeing right here. I would, Derek, highly suggest rewatching this video or watching this video. Maybe I can share it. I can't share it. Oh, that's annoying. There we go. So I definitely would recommend this video, or yeah, I would recommend that video just to rewatch everything. But yeah, it does tell you when to buy and sell. But as we talked about in the video, you shouldn't just use the buy and sell signals. You should use all the signals, or not all the indicators, but you should use more indicators to help you find confluences and trade setups. Let me find that discount code. So Black Friday discount. So you'll get 50% off when you use that discount code Black50 in your coupon. So, and Angel, if you just signed up and you didn't use that, I'll knock it off for your next month. So don't worry, I'll look at your account. I'm not sure if you did or didn't use it, but don't worry about it. I'll knock it off for your next account, for your next month subscription. And then let me give you guys a link, obviously. That would be nice. Great. I will knock it off for you. Trading is a very patient thing. So, at Derek. Wait, what? Got it. Thank you. Been working since 6 this morning, hoping this will make it so I don't have to work so long. I'm not sure what you're asking. I think you're saying you're hoping you make it in trading. I've been trading for, if that is what you're asking, I've been trading for 8 years myself. I still work a full-time job, and that's because I enjoy working my job. I work in IT. I love what I get to do. But there are other people, and their goals are they want to be full-time traders and have make that their source of income, which is great. I love my supplement income from trading, but that's not my main source of income. I think I would go crazy if all I did was trade all day. So, I mean, I did trade all day during COVID, so I did go crazy. But for some people, that's a great goal, and I love it, and I help people get to that goal. That's what we're here to do, help you achieve whatever financial goal you're trying to achieve. So, but at any rate, I started to get on the rants if I'm on here too long. So, is there any other questions? If you're still unsure, I will probably be doing, I will be doing at least 2 live streams next week during Black Friday week, potentially a third. They'll still all be all on YouTube. So potentially a third video I will do on next week, but there will be 2 videos next week we'll stream. It will be the same stuff, same exact thing. So correct. So it's 50% off, $78, making it $39 with Black50. But that is only for your first month. So it will go back to $78 after your first month. So Black50, 50% off 78, which I believe is $39 if you did the math correctly. But that's only for your first month subscription. Your next month subscription will go back to $78 per month. Great. Is there any other questions, or are we good to go? I provided a link, provided a discount code. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know in the Discord. You can send me a DM, whatever works for you. But like I said, we'll do 2 more of these next week if you're still unsure about trend and you're still shopping around. So it works with any indicator. So I use it personally for Forex. We have a pro trader who does US 30 callouts constantly. He just got funded on FTMO. So he's using he does tons of US 30 callouts all the time. So so yeah, it does work on Forex. I've been trading Forex with Trend for the last 2 years. So great. If there's no other questions, I'm going to end the stream. Like I said, if you do have any questions though after this that you just thought of, please hit me up in the Discord and I'll be able to answer those there for you. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. See you in the Discord and see you around. Later, guys. Oh, 77. Is it exit signal on the chart? So the exit signal, that is the opposite signal. So our indicator is direction. So there's the buy signal and then the sell signal. So this exit signal simply is a sell signal. And this exit signal is simply a buy signal. So that's all that is. Yeah, it works with, as long as it's on TradingView, it works with bonds. So if there's some bonds on TradingView, it'll work with those as well. You're welcome. All right, guys, I got to end this, but if you do have any questions, please hit me up in the Discord. Feel free to rewatch this video after I clip some things, and then we'll see you either in the Discord, see you around, or we'll see you next week in the next videos. Later, guys.